Ensor, boat safety at Naval Point.
Me, Leanne, Carlene Edwards, Chief Executive, and the councillors, thank you very much for allowing us to submit today, and I'll introduce our group, which is Roger, Rob from OSL, and Eden Husband.
On this one. No, there's nothing on that stick.
That's what we do it now.
I'm Roger Allen, part of this group. The purpose of this project is to establish a safe environment for people from the greater Christchurch area taking part in aquatic activities on Littleton Harbour. This must include safe access to and from the water in all weather and sea conditions.
A phone survey of 5,025 people was conducted to establish the extent of public support for this project. All participants gave their support. The percentage of participants residing in the various wards is as follows, and this is a percentage of Christchurch ratepayers. Akara Warriwa, this is with the old board boundaries because it was done for the port recovery plan. Burwood Pegasus, and you can see there the list of the various groups. Note that there's only 14% of the users of this facility outside of Christchurch area, and I think that's really important. A workshop conducted by Eric Banks and Christchurch City Council was initiated on the 28th of April and runs through to the 30th of May. So when that results comes out, we're going to look at any things that's raised with that, and we will deal with those accordingly. It was supported by Colin Locke, Vice Commodore of the Yacht Club, and possibly the Commodore, we think, for this year. Willie Newman, Canterbury Trailer Yacht Squadron, representing 150 trailer yachts, and Ross May, who's been the membership services person for the club, Naval Point Club, and is also representing CYA. We've also had support, and fantastic support, from the Banks Peninsula Community Board right through this whole project, including the previous board that we had.
The Naval Point public boat ramp is extremely well used, with 393 launchings over Waitangi weekend alone. May I add that a lot of those people, there'd be 4 people to a boat, so that comes around to over 1,000, and often were extended family groups.
We wish to install this floating jetty this year as a permanent fixture, but if it's not necessary, we are happy to consider a temporary option which can be relocated and accommodate any possible future relocation on the boat ramp. We may consider, as part of the Magazine Bay development, which is ongoing at the moment. And then we just have a look back. This project's been going since 1993, and so it's gone a long time, and it's lacked funding, it's lacked support, and it's just been totally ignored, and it's really, really disappointing. The next slide shows separating public from the public that use the public ramp, and there's also the club ramp, but separating away hand launch from motor launch is the main safety concern there. Now, 2013, we had the whole community board, we had the councillors, we had a large number of staff from the council, and they totally engaged in this whole process, and we had 100% support from that. That hasn't changed any of the survey work we've done since. The next one shows the conditions when they deteriorate from what's predicted in the weather, and it shows how difficult it is to try and deal with this environment. Can I just say a quick?
Well, as James just pointed out, that picture is a typical southerly sort of that's probably come in midday after a calm start to the day. Retrieving a boat in those conditions is almost impossible without some damage and safety issues.
So the concern, at present Christchurch has no suitable facilities to safely launch and retrieve vessels from Littleton Harbour under adverse conditions, in particular sail vessels which have limited power and manoeuvrability. The greatest concern is from southerly and southwesterly storms which arrive abruptly and unpredictably and develop large seas very quickly. Vessels and their crew who are caught out by these conditions must seek shelter within the bays on the southern side of the harbour until conditions improve. This is only possible for experienced sailors with suitable vessels and poses a great threat to youth sailing who are on the harbour in large groups and vulnerable vessels. The existing inner harbour boat ramp near the dry dock does not offer a sheltered limited use facility, however it has no trailer parking or de-rigging areas, very limited berthage, is situated a long way from where boat trailers are parked at Naval Point, is within the LPC commercial operating area and thus cannot accommodate the retrieval of any vessels during a storm event. Vessels are often damaged against the existing timber fender jetty alongside the public boat ramp when retrieved in southerly conditions, as the wind and waves push the boats into the jetty. In 2016 there have been 2 known injury incidents, bruising to the body and a broken arm, having occurred while trying to protect boats from being pushed into the existing finger jetty. So the proposed facility will benefit a minimum of 5,025 people from the greater Christchurch communities. So the proposed floating jetty located on the south side of the existing public boat ramp will complement the proposed water sports facility development and provide an immediate low-cost improvement to boat safety. The proposal consists of 3 components: a fixed timber access jetty, a 12-metre gangway between the access jetty and the floating jetty, and a 20-metre times 5.25 metre floating jetty constructed from 5 existing concrete breakwater units. The estimated cost of the proposal is $220,000, which excludes private contributions of approximately $100,000, which have already been committed to this project. The floating jetty will help reduce the wave heights adjacent to the boat ramp and reduce surge on the ramp. It will be easily accessed from the water over the full tide range. Being positioned on the south side of the ramp, the jetty will allow vessels to approach into the wind under southerly conditions, giving them greater control. Once alongside, vessels can be guided onto a trailer by letting out lines from the jetty and using the wind to direct the vessels onto the trailer. The jetty allows vessels to berth on both sides, which will greatly improve the efficiency of the boat ramp at peak usage and allow recreational boat users to recover their vessels quickly and safely when conditions become unsafe on the water. So this is sort of a diagram of the proposal. We have the floating jetty, which means it's easy to access on all tides. At present, the current timber jetty at low tide is very hard to climb up onto, and in rough conditions it can be quite dangerous trying to get up on there. And this is just a diagram of how it aids getting a boat safely onto trailer in poor weather conditions. It means you can disembark the vessel, hold it with lines, and then you can walk the boat onto the trailer, so you have the boat in complete control the whole time, making it a lot easier. It also means at low tide you're at water level, so it's a lot easier to disembark and control your boat while you're doing that. Next are the costings. So we've done an engineer's evaluation of the cost. So we feel the price of the project is around $220,000. This is based on using some voluntary labour, and it doesn't include the cost of the breakwater units, which is approximately $100,000. They've been effectively gifted by the owners for a period of 10 years.
Today, the port company confirmed that we were able to use the walkway and the pontoon, which is in the inner harbour, which is used for access to the keelers, and this will be available from August, and this may help considerably with our costings, and we would use that in preference probably to the ones that are already in the harbour. Now, the QRA results came out, and we knew pretty well what was going to happen, and we said it was going to have limited effect, and the results have showed exactly what we'd found out from the research we'd done.
So these are just a few photos of similar facilities around here. On the left, that's the current ferry terminal at Littleton, constructed from the same breakwater units, so ours will look very similar to this. It has the units are piled in place, so they're very secure. Top right is a gangway that'll be similar to the gangway that you used to access the jetty from the adjacent ground.
Now you can see here from the meetings we've had from 1993 when the first plan was done, 2000 when the marina development blew apart, 2009 the boat safety group was formed due to public pressure. The community wanted to see some action, see some things done, and we've gone through the whole consultation process right through to where we are now, and we actually want to see key meetings with the boat safety representative, the community board, staff members, Joan Blatchford with Kay Holden and others. We had to discuss the construction phase, which is what we're at the moment, and May the 7th City Council individually to present to the boat safety. We've also done the final phase, which the Christchurch City Council to seek funding for the construction to the project, which is operational for 2017-2018 summer season, and that's what we're hoping to do with our project. And you can see there's a number of things on the right hand side here, 1 to 6. That's the order of what we'd like to see them done, because that's the way we think we can fund what we've got to do. And when we get to the stage of the marina bit, which is in a bit of a problem at the moment, because the inner harbour, there's 40% of the people looking at vacating that, and they can't go here because there's no protection. So had we have had this repaired or some work done there, we might have been able to accommodate some of those. And the next one's just a number of slipways and things. I think that's quite interesting to see how poorly represented we are. And then Eden's going to read out.
Right, this group has been lobbying since 2009, but the issue has been in progress since 1993, and there has been no improvement to the public boating facilities at Naval Point. The proposal, as tabled and outlined by OSAL, is an extremely cost-effective design which will add enormously to the existing launch and retrieve facility. We have talked extensively about the negative safety aspects of the existing facilities, particularly when a southerly blows up after a calm start to the day. With the proposed design using the concrete pontoons generously organised by Buzz March from March Construction, with their weight and angle to the southerly, will have an enormous effect on reducing the wave action that rolls onto the boat ramp, making for a safer boat retrieval operation. This design will have enormous safety benefits to the launch and retrieval of boats. In summary, this will be a major safety improvement to the existing ramp. This design is in line with other facilities around the country and the world actually. A good cost-effective, robust design that complements the existing facility. Improvements to the public area at Naval Point boating facility is long overdue. This facility has the ability and does generate income through a user pay system. With improvements to the facility, this in itself will attract more users.
Right, now with the community board, which Paula Smith was the chairman of, we went through the process for last year and it was still held up by the QRA. You can see there the list of things. We had total support from them and they wanted to see some introduction of the proposal, so we've got a lot of support from that. And just in summary, I just want to acknowledge the work that's been done by the list there. Also, we've had a lot of support from Andrew Wild and Amy Hart from the community board staff, and also the support by March Construction and that list of people there. I think it's been fantastic. We're only seeking $218,000. We're not looking at a great deal of money, but we think the benefit is absolutely huge to the community. Roger and I don't use it. Eden and Rob don't use it either. We were asked by the community to try and come up with a proposal, and thanks to OSAL and the very good work they've done with design, we've been able to come up with that. And just in summary here, the project to date has been supported by the Banksman Community Board due to the major safety benefits from the community and ratepayers. We know that the investigation's going on now, but the date for that is the 30th of May when that will be finalised, so we'll have the information on that. And if there's any changes needed, we will look at that with our engineers. The quality of risk, we've covered that. The project had full support from councillors at the last presentation we did, and we think that was fantastic, and we thank them very much for that. And just in summary there, we all think that the councillors will support this project as a high priority, low cost option with major safety benefits, with funding stage 1 for 17-18 annual plan this year. And we're happy to answer any questions.
I don't know that you've left time for questions. How are we? I'm afraid not. So I'm really sorry about that, but we have to share the time, with with submitters as we've indicated, and it's 10 minutes for groups. I do try to ask people to leave a little bit of time for questions, but look, thank you. I mean, you've been presented to many of us before, and we'll certainly take your concerns into account as we consider the annual plan. I think the last time we had a really serious look at this was the long-term plan, and it may well be that that's the appropriate time frame for this as well, given the work that's going on at Naval Point. But we'll work on that and certainly let you know how we go.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Mayor and councillors.
Thank you.